Hello there viewers, welcome to FM Scout. My name is Omega Luke and today we have another tactic tester. So for anyone who doesn't know what this series is about, I basically take a tactic from the FM Scout website, uploaded by just simply a Football Manager player who thinks that they've nailed the next best tactic, and I try it out with a certain team selected pretty much at random by myself. Depending on how this goes, whether you like the look of this tactic or not, the link will be down in the description to this tactic to take you straight to the page to download it straight off the FM Scout website. And if you'd like to upload your own tactic, if you head on over to the FM Scout website, again, link is down in the description, there is a section there which will help you upload your own tactic. But today, here is the tactic we are looking at, and it is by a guy called ESPierre. And it is an isometric tactic, and I thought it was quite interesting really. I do like sort of isometric. I've used it before. In fact, I've actually uploaded one myself to the channel, which a lot of you guys have had a lot of success with. I've gone with Leicester, and the reason I've gone with Leicester is I've seen a few of these positions being taken up by a couple of Leicester's players. James Maddison for me has got that position written all over it. Attack, advance forward, of course, it's got to be Jamie Vardy, and they've got like the likes of Ndidi in centre midfield and Chowdhury, who I think will be really good in these two roles. So, Ben Chilwell as well as a complete wing back. So I did really think about this tactic when I looked at it and thought that is sort of the idea that I want to go for. Whether this will work out or not, I do not know. Basically, if you haven't seen a tactic video before of Tactic Tester, I've selected the team, I've selected the tactic, I will then make sure that they play this tactic by simply going on holiday and clicking to choose this tactic at any cost. So they will only play this tactic, they will not alter it in any way. So that does have like sort of a downfall, but we're going to see how just through a simulation of me going on holiday, it will work. So it does have its ups and its downs. Let's have a look. How have we done? Before we do that actually, we're just going to see, I always have a look at this, season preview of 8th. Pretty much 8th, yeah. So with the likes of Everton and Wolves around, of course Wolves was the team we used in our first tactic tester. So let's dive deep into this tactic then. It is an attacking mentality. In possession, we pass into space, we attack in a narrow formation, playing out of defence. Very direct at an extremely high tempo. So I'm wondering whether how that will work. Work the ball into the box and play for set pieces has been selected. Obviously, I'm not going to change any of that. Personally, I would take that off for a team like Leicester, and I would have run at defence just because it's Jamie Vardy. But that's not the case. Whipped crosses, which I think suits Jamie Vardy, to be honest. The gegenpress sort of type, which we all know is very overpowered in this year's game. Distribute the ball to the flanks, taking short kicks, which is very rare to see that on this year's iteration of the game, and distributing it quickly as well. If we have a look out of possession then, we are still using the offside trap, which seems to be the favoured go-to tactic in defence, with a standard width, higher line and a higher line of engagement, really suiting that gegenpress formation, preventing the goal kick from the opposition, extremely urgent. Tackling, of course, we are not on anything as it comes from the last couple of episodes, which has really cost the team points, I think, personally, from getting yellow and red cards. A lot of you guys seem to have agreed in the comments section. But this is the sort of formation. Sweeper keeper, we've got Kasper Schmeichel. No doubt he can play a sweeper keeper. Inverted wing back, don't know how that's going to work out. Ball playing defender and a central defender. Complete wing back, Ben Chilwell I think has that nailed down. Deep line playmaker, probably Ndidi is going to be a good player for that. Box to box midfielder in the middle there. Maybe Chowdhury. I mean, I'm having a look at the side here. I'm wondering really who else would play that sort of position. Youri Tielemans, how can I forget about Youri Tielemans? Would be a fantastic box to box midfielder. He would be great for this formation, I think, as well as Chowdhury, who will grow into a great player. What an impressive haircut as well as Hamza Chowdhury. Wing player on the left, I'm not sure. Maybe Albrighton. maybe Damari Gray. Harvey Barnes is another shout, to be fair, as well. In forward right is going to be one of those guys as well. I think that would be the only position that would really need. Or to be fair, they've got a Jose Perez who could play as a sort of inverted player there. So that's not too bad, an inside forward. Shadow striker, I think, all day, every day, has got to be James Maddison, one of the most impressive players, I think, on this game. A 22-year-old Englishman, James Maddison. Phenomenal stats, phenomenal attributes, sorry. I think he'd be really good in that shadow striker role. Some really good attributes that will suit that. And, of course, the advanced forward up top, the one and only Jamie Vardy, having a party. Congratulations to Jamie Vardy, by the way. In real life, he had a child. I'm sure he watches. Of course he does. So, that is the formation. Predicted to finish 10th. Predicted to finish 8th, even. The familiarity is not very high at all, so I'm going to set it up to do this. We're quite early on. Hopefully they learn the tactic pretty quickly. But I'm going to go holiday forward now through to the 1st of June, where we will find out how this got on. Here we are then, the 1st of June 2020, and well, we were predicted to finish 8th. We have in fact finished 9th, so I don't know whether there's something wrong with this tactic that is really, or whether it's just Leicester not playing up to it. But overall, I don't think it's too as bad as it looks. I mean, we are 57.61 was 8th place Tottenham, and Bournemouth, for some reason on this game, just always play unbelievable as the AI. I just don't know what it is. I wouldn't be surprised if Callum Wilson is up there with the highest amount of goals and everything like that. But we're going to have a look. He actually is. I couldn't write it. Callum Wilson with 26 goals. That is outstanding. I mean, he isn't actually that good in real life. But on this game, he's phenomenal. But Jamie Vardy there, in second place. Of all the players in the Premier League, Jamie Vardy is in second place. And assist-wise, we have James Maddison with 17. So I'm quite impressed by that. Player of the match as well, James Maddison has the most player of the matches in the league, and Ben Chilwell has 15 yellow cards. Outstanding. If we have a look at the average rating, Maddison and Vardy are down there in 12th and 13th, so there or thereabouts, considering how far down the table that they finished. It's not that bad if you ask me. We're going to dive more into it though and have a look more into the player sort of stats and everything like that. So I've just got on the profile here of Leicester City, and it shows us the last starting 11. And of course, there probably is a way that you can see what the team was for every game, but I'm not really going to go into that. I did set that the assistant manager could sign new players, and it looks like they have done with Timothy Weir, so that's pretty good, on loan as well. So they've brought in backups, but it does look like James Maddison's been stuck out here on the left, and Jose Perez has been playing the shadow striker role. Interesting, but Tielemans is in there with Ndidi, which is what I expected, but I do think maybe they could have had a better inside forward rather than Ricardo Pereira, who, to be fair, could actually play that role quite well, and it does look like he's learnt that role. I don't know whether he's been like that before. But let's have a look more into the past positions then of the Premier League, and how Leicester have really been doing throughout the season, and it does look like they have pretty much stayed mid-table all year. A very consistent, if you will, consistently inconsistent is what I would like to call this, to be honest, because it does look like, I mean, we went as low as 12th all season, and that is it. As high as 7th at the beginning, as low as 12th. They are the epitome of a mid-table side there. If we have a look at all the mid-table, I mean, Norwich, for some point of the season, was top. So, fair play to Norwich. But even West Ham down there is up and down. Tottenham above, they were up and down. But Leicester, the most inconsistent, consistent team in the league. So, now we have a look at the medical centre and the history for this season. Just in case there are anything that has affected it, we had Johnny Evans out of a broken ankle for 4 months. We also have a couple of these players who I think are on the fringes of the team out for 4 months and 6 months as well. Ben Chilwell missed out on 3 weeks there. So a few different players from the first team, like even Tielemans there, pulling ligaments for 2 weeks. He was out. All of these will add up, of course, but you know everyone has injuries in the league. I was just really checking to see whether there was any that was like really high amount of games missed, which would sort of add up to why they might have dropped points across the season. And if you do actually have a look at this page on the season summary, you'll see a few of the first team players here, the likes of Tielemans missing out for 4 weeks, Iheanacho, Jamie Vardy missing out on a few weeks there. Johnny Evans, of course, 5 months is a big loss, considering he is one of their better centre-backs on this game. Competitions-wise then, overall, we know about the Premier League. FA Cup, though, when they're knocked out in the 5th round by Arsenal, which was eventually won by Tottenham Hotspur, and knocked out in the 2nd round by Stoke in the Carabao Cup, eventually won by Chelsea. Not a very good performance in the Carabao Cup, but that's very early on. And 5th round by Arsenal, understandable in the FA Cup. Next up then we have a look at what all of the appearances and things like that. So these are the most appearances in the league or overall across the whole season. Kasper Schmeichel, James Maddison, Ndidi, Vardy, Tielemans, the top 5 there. Goals wise, Jamie Vardy with 24 goals at the age of 33, still banging them in. If we take off Slimani, ignore that one. James Maddison pitching in with 14 goals. How many of that was in the league? 13 goals in the league, 17 assists. An outstanding season for James Maddison in this formation. If anyone knows how to do it so I can see all the positions that James Maddison played this season, that will be fantastic. I've tried looking across all these different menus. I just cannot find it. So if anyone knows a way that I can just see how one player, where they've played this season, really appreciate it. Dennis Pryatt was also up there with 11 goals. Pereira, Weir and Harvey Barnes all on 5, as well as Yuri Tielemans. Assist-wise, though, we have James Maddison up there with 20 assists. A phenomenal stat there, 20 assists. So a really high goals contribution per game with 34 goals in total in 42 appearances for James Maddison. Outstanding stuff, really. Jamie Vardy there with 9 assists. Really knocking up a tally there as well. And we also have Tielemans with 5 assists as well. Player of the match, we already know, it's going to be James Maddison at the top there. Jamie Vardy with 4, Pereira with 2. An average rating, no surprises, those 2 names as well as Ndidi and Pereira. So quite understandably, from considering the stats that we've seen from the league, that those names keep popping up. But I do like to notice and point out, it took until we got all the way down here before a 6 was seen. So a 7 I always consider a good season. I mean, how many players is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is in fact 12 players there who have had what I consider a good season in this formation. So I consider it quite a success. Maybe not like quick success in the league, but overall, I think it has worked out. If you were using it yourself, there's maybe a few things that you tweak. Probably wouldn't play on attacking with Leicester, but that is why I use mid-table sides and struggling sides instead of just being the Liverpools or the Man Cities. You know, if I banged Man City in this formation and they won, you'd all be like, well, it's Man City. Of course they're going to win. But Leicester City, not as bad as not as good as performance, but we can really dive into the tactic a little bit more. So yes, this is ESPierre's tactic, the Asymmetric 4-1-2-3. Let me know down in the comments whether you like it or whether you intend on using it. Mixed bag of results, I think, from this. The first one we've had in that sort of manner. So drop a like on the video if you can. If you're enjoying the series of Tactic Tester, that would be fantastic. Let me know if you have a tactic that you want me to try on the FM Scout website, or if you're going to upload it, let me know, and also what team you would like me to use, and I will definitely put that into consideration. But my name's Omega Luke. I also have a channel of myself, in case you didn't know. I go live on Sunday nights, and I also have a Let's Play Conquering Scandinavia save, which a lot of you have come over and seem to be really enjoying. It'd be fantastic if some more of you did come and say hi and drop me a nice little subscribe if you can. That would be fantastic. But of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you need to do that too for more Tactic Tester and more experiments and more educational videos here on FM Scout by myself or by Jamie. So I'll see you on the next one for another video.